Okay folks, we're here for another episode. Today we're looking for some lost gold here in this creek. And this is a place we came to a few years ago, and we got a 34 Ford coupe down in this creek. And now we're here back again to get some parts off of these cars. They're mostly 1930s cars, so we'll show you what they are and you know, what we can get off of them. We're wearing bright orange because this is hunting season, so we don't want to get shot. And we'll do a little drone footage here for you for a couple minutes, and then we'll continue on with what we're getting here. Well, we've got a few cars we're looking at right here. These go all the way down the creek here. This creek goes for about a mile with all kinds of stuff everywhere. You know, it's the old dump, I guess. This is a Chevy here. Looks like it was a four-door sedan. Maybe 35 Master or 36, somewhere in there. Anyway, it's got a good glove box door, radio delete, a few parts we're gonna get. We'll cut the cowl vent off of it. So we'll get a few of those things off of there. Then over in here is an old Dodge or Plymouth maybe. It's a Mopar for sure. I think maybe a 35 or 6. So we're gonna get a few parts off of that one. It's another four-door sedan. This one here is a Dodge, I think a 38 maybe, 37, 8, somewhere in there. We'll get some parts off of that. Looks like it's got a windshield frame and a few things. It's another four-door sedan. And then, let's see if we can see any of the other ones from here. Maybe we gotta... There's a few more way over there, so we'll walk over that way. We'll do some more filming over that way in a little bit. But first we'll work on these and get a few parts off them. Look how long that one's been sitting there. That tree grew right around that. And this is a big tree here. Look how wide that tree's 2.5 feet wide probably, and it's lifted that car right up. So that shows you how long that car's been sitting there. You can kind of see the top of the other one over there. And there's Parker over there. There's a lot of more stuff over that way too. So we'll keep searching here, see what else we can find. Get it out of there, get stuck. A nice glove box door there in good shape. See what else is a radio delete here. That's got a square nut on one side. I guess it's square nuts. So maybe we'll try to cut the cowl vent off now and
let's see how we can go about that.
all right, we need a fresh blade. That one's all done. Okay, we got a new blade here. There's the old blade. That one got cooked. Okay, we got it all cut around, but we got to cut the handle off. So we'll flip this over. Roll that over. Maybe we can take a piece of the dash with it. Then we'll get the radio deleted at the same time. Okay, use a grinding wheel. Well, we had an audio glitch, so we're going to have to do a little talk over here. Well, hopefully we get this figured out for the next round. I think what happened is the cord got bent. Now we're getting some funky noise. But anyway, we got the cowl vent cut out of that Chevy body. Got the glove box door and the emblem on the dash. I kind of hate to cut that dash, but that dash is, you know, welded into the car. They're not bolted in, so you'd have to cut all around the dash, and it's just more work than we can do today. So here's the back end of that Chevy body. That's the floor pan. Looked like it was a sedan. All of it's just kind of falling apart. They're full of wood, so once the wood rots out, they just fall apart. There's an old cone top beer can. Too bad that's so rough. Those are pretty valuable if you get good ones with good paint and stuff on them. There's a whiskey bottle. There's all kinds of junk in here. Bottles, household trash, just all kinds of stuff buried in the dirt. See if we can get these off of here. There's that one. Another old cone top can. All kinds of trash buried in under here. There's the piston right there. Another cone top. Okay, we get those off. There's the two hood hooks. We're just looking for anything that we can save off of here. This is the right hand, right rear. Okay, this is the 38 Dodge, or 37 Dodge, sorry. We're gonna get the header panel out of here. It's kind of a narrow header panel. Goes up in here, interior panel, holds the headliner in. It's got some screws in here that are being kind of difficult. So we're gonna get this out, then we'll be able to get at the windshield hinges that are in behind it. See if we can pop that loose. That doesn't want to move, so we might use a battery tool here. Get in behind it and cut the screw. There's the header panel. So we'll save that piece. That's a saleable item. Now we want to get the windshield frame. It's got a pretty nice windshield frame with a stainless trim around the edge. Got a couple hinges up in there. The bottom is already separated. There's no windshield regulator in it, so zing a couple bolts out of this side and we'll get it out of there. The other side, the windshield hinge is kind of in the ground, so it's a little pitted. Kind of rusty on the other side, so we'll see what we got to do. I guess I got to climb in there and grind those bolt heads because they weren't cooperating. These tools are worth their weight in gold. Anybody has a chance, buy these. DeWalt tools. Milwaukee makes them too. But any battery tools, they save a lot of time. We used to hand chisel these or a hacksaw or something, and boy, you'd spend a lot of time doing something. Now you can just buzz them right off with an electric tool. You gotta watch all the sparks. You can see the sparks flying into those dry leaves. So you gotta be cautious of that, and don't just cut something and then leave quickly. Hang around for a little bit so you make sure there isn't a fire. Well, there's that windshield frame. Pop that out of there. That's a good item right there. You can get quite a bit of value off of things like this. They don't look like much, all buried in the ground, but some of these parts are pretty valuable. So we'll try to get the other windshield hinge out of here. It's kind of rotted around it in the roof of this car, so we'll just grind it up, cut it out of there. I don't think there's too much holding that one, really. There we go. Always be cautious of metal that's been cut like this. You can cut your hand really bad. Never let it slip through your hand. Just keep a firm grip on it or wear gloves. So there's the other windshield hinge right there, attached to that piece. Well, now we're jumped back over to the 35 Plymouth. This is another sedan. We're going to get the cowl vent out of this. The reason we save these cowl vents is because back east they get leaves and dirt and stuff down in there and it rusts them out. There's a groove that the rubber gasket sits in and they get rotted out. Then they're just a real hassle. So these western ones don't rust out, so guys will weld these into another body and have a good cowl vent area. It's a kind of a valuable part because you really need a whole donor body just to get that. You're not going to cut that piece out of a body that's worth anything, so you need a donor, which aren't very many of them around of these 1930s cars. This one had some brackets going from the cowl vent handle to the firewall, so we had to get underneath there and cut some out. But we'll get that one out of there. You can see the opening is cut out. We're just cutting those brackets and bolts in there that are holding it in. So there's that cowl vent right there. Nice clean door. You can see the channel is all good. Still got the screen in there even. That was back before air conditioning. You open either the early cars, either you open the windshield or you had a cowl vent and opened it up and let some fresh air in there. This over here is a 3031 Model A two-door sedan that was buried upside down in this pile. Just got rolled down over the bank in there, and unfortunately the Mother Nature's taken over. It's kind of filled it up with dirt and stuff. Really isn't much savable on it. And there's another Chevy car in there. I did pop a cowl trim piece off of that one. I think it's a 42 Chevy. It was a coupe, but it's all flattened out from the trees and buried in the ground, and just nothing really usable there. You can see down there at the bottom where I'm pointing there, that's where I found a 1934 Ford three-window coupe. We came here several years ago and bought the rights to pick this place, and the first thing I took was that three-window coupe. We bought our tow truck in, pulled it up out of there. One side was really good, about half the body. The other side was just stayed in the ground there. It was just rotted away because it was at the bottom of the creek. But we had a good driver's side with a quarter panel. This creek goes on for like a mile, mile and a half. There's just stuff all strewn along it. People just dump their trash over the edge for decades. And some good stuff, some of it's just trash. So we're going to get back over to the other area there. This here we're looking at a different spot. There's another remnant of a Model A right there. You can see the cowl off to the left bottom there. But that's pretty well hammered, very much to it. There's some pieces of a Chevy in there too. There's a Model A windshield post. Kind of wish that stuff had been up out of the ground. You can see the twisted up door there. But you can't have everything. Probably if it was up out of the ground, somebody would have taken it years ago anyway. Now here's another 35 Ford, 35 or 6 sedan. And I've already got the windshield hinges and windshield regulator off of this, but we're going to cut the cowl vent out of it. We won't take the firewall today. It does have a decent firewall, but we won't get into that today. You can see the back end of another car body there on top of it. There's some more old bottles. A lot of medicine bottles or liquor bottles. You can see the side of the bank there kind of curves around in this area. Parker's up there with a shovel getting ready to dig something. So here we are cutting the cowl vent out of this one. I started with the grinder, then just make a little groove to put the Sawzall blade in, and then you can buzz along it. If you got a fresh blade, you can cut through it pretty quick. Just cut right around there. Leave enough of the opening that somebody can weld it into another one. Run up to there's a inner dash rail in there that's kind of substantial, so we're going to cut in front of that on this one. Just buzz right along there on the sheet metal. Once it starts flapping like that, it don't cut so easy. Well, there we go, we got that one cut out. There it is. Nice cell. Look at the original black paint on that. It's amazing how things are out west here. This is why we moved out here. We were from New Hampshire originally, and out there, if the stuff was like this on the ground, there'd be nothing left of it. It would have rusted away 50 years ago. It'd just be dirt now. But out here, you know, even half buried in the ground, in an old dump, there's still original paint on the cowl vent. That's the piece I pulled off the top there. I think that's a 3031 Model A Victoria, the back quarter panel. You can tell by that kind of a bustle back, and looks like it had a padded top there on the back end, so I think that's a Victoria piece. I might possibly take that home for a wall hanger. It's really not worth anything because it's so rough, but I kind of hate to leave it there too. So we're going to go up on top there. There's a field up on top, and we'll show you what's up in there. We'll climb up to the top of this bank here, bring our tools in the cowl vent. Well, here we are up on top. This is the back end of a Packard, I believe, about a 1935 or 6 maybe, somewhere in there. You can see it was target practice. Got about 1 million bullet holes in it there. This is what's left of the tail light. It had 2 trunk lids, one up top there and one down low. I think the bottom one may be for a spare tire. I'm not sure, but it had two lids on the back. But anyway, there's really nothing we can save off of that one. It's so shot up. So now we're walked over to the edge here again. You can see we've come down a little bit from that field up there. As you can see, we've dropped maybe 10 or 12 feet. But there's about another 15, 18 feet down to the bottom there. And you can see there's another Ford down there. That one's a 37, 38 maybe, somewhere in there. Sedan, looks like a 2-door sedan. You can see that kind of snakes around there. Goes out towards the road, eventually goes under a road over there, one of the highways through town. So we're going to climb down into the bottom of that hole there and see what we can find, if there's anything savable on that down there. Well, we trekked down to the bottom here, slid down the bank, and you can see this one got shot with a shotgun in the door. So that door isn't really that great. Windshield's kind of stuck in the ground. You know, there really isn't much. The cowl vent's gone there. Isn't much savable on that one. This here's a cowl area of a Model T, 26.7 Model T cowl there, but so buried in the ground, I don't think you'd get anything out of that. We'll grab our tools and walk along here. We'll just kind of walk along the bottom of this creek here. I can spot something over by that large tree. And that is another Model T, another 1926 or 1927 2-door sedan. You can see somebody shoved it over the edge and it kind of fell apart and a tree grew through the driver's side door opening there. There's no doors on it, unfortunately. The doors for these are hard to come by. Somebody probably found those years ago. There's the cowl, and that's the whole driver's side. The passenger side's kind of twisted under it, and the subframe, you can see it there. Or maybe that's two different bodies, I'm not sure, but that quarter panel is probably savable. We'll probably get that at some point, but not today. That's too much work. We got a short day, so we can't do too much there. Now here's a little further upstream here. There's some more car parts there. There's a roof over there. Another piece of a door and cowl here. Looks like a couple more 35 or 6 Fords. This one here is so stuck in the ground. It's a 2-door sedan, but there's nothing you can really save off of that. Too far in the ground. This one has a cowl vent, so we'll cut that cowl vent off there. That one's got original black paint on it as well. There's the roof of a Chevy car over there. And there's the remnants of looks like a Ford fender, but somebody torched a headlight out of it years ago. That's probably the 35 Ford front fender, I'm guessing, off this car right here. So somebody got the headlights and stuff years ago. That's a Buick hood there. You can see with the portholes. Anyway, we're going to cut the cowl vent out of that door. Well, Parker just tossed that cowl vent. You can see where we cut it out right there. So I don't see too much else on that one that we can save. Doors are rusted off. There's the remnants of the floor right there. So we're going to continue around the bend here and see what else we can find. Climb up the steep bank here. We got to grab our tools. And we'll catch you on the other side. Well, we found another one. It's on the other side of this water hole. You can see how steep these banks are. I'll go way up there. I mean, these trees are probably 20 feet tall or plus, and they're not as high as the banks. So anyway, we got to jump across this creek here. We'll get over there, and that looks like another 35 or 6 Ford. We'll probably get the cowl vent off that too if we can. And then there's a couple more over there. You can see them to the right of the screen. We'll go film those in a minute. And that'll probably be the end of this once we get those. So, if you like these kind of videos, subscribe to our channel, give us thumbs up, give us comments, all those kind of positive things help. And we can make more videos like these in the future if we get that kind of help. And hope you enjoyed the video, but we'll get working on this one. Then we'll go film those ones that are over there to the right. And then we'll show you what we got once we get it home here. We'll finish up at home. Well, that's a little loud in that echo chamber. I don't know if I got my hearing back right, but at least we got the cowl vent off, and we'll do the rest of it here, and we'll get out of here. Okay, we're going to do a little more exploring here. Here's another sedan, look like a Ford or a Mercury, 1954 or so. This looks like an old furnace of some sort. Super Flame, you can see it there, deluxe. Somebody's old furnace. There's the other side of the 54 there, upside down. Over there, way over, you can see the road I'm talking about. That's the highway going through town. And this creek snakes its way along here and eventually goes under that road. So we'll kind of walk over, and I don't think there's anything on the other side of that road. It's all on this side. So we're getting towards the end, but we'll jump over these branches and stuff here and see what else we can find over this way. This here is the roof of a truck cab, it looks like. And I can tell by the shape of that, that's a Studebaker, like a 49 to 50 something Studebaker truck cab. Go along a little further here, I can see some more metal in the ground. Looks like a roof of a car or something there. You can see one way down in the bottom there. Another one over there, buried in the ground. So there's some more Studebaker stuff down in there, but nothing really savable. This is the roof of, I don't know if it's a Ford, but maybe a 34 or 5, somewhere in there. And there's some other Model T parts here coming out of the bank. I don't see anything we need right there. There isn't much savable on that. The rear window garnish was in it, but it was really twisted from the ground there. Would have liked to have saved that, but it's all twisted and bent. So anyway, we'll move on a little bit. Getting kind of breezy out here. But we're almost to the end of this place here. I think there's some more metal up there towards the top of the screen, you can see. Looks like there's the back of a seat, maybe, of a car. You can see the car. It looks like maybe an old Chevy, a 40s Chevy that just opened up like a tin can. You can see the inside of the body on there. So it must have peeled right open. And that's the inside, and there's part of the seat, I think. But it's all twisted up with all these logs and stuff. So there's the road I was talking about, going through town. And there's some water, standing water there. It goes under the road. But that's about it for this area. A little more metal right there. Kind of rusted away though. Not much left of that stuff. Some more Model T stuff up at the top of the bank, all twisted up. But that stuff is, I think, gone beyond. Going back to Mother Nature. So anyway, we're going to walk up out of here. There's Parker there. And well, we made it back home here. We got all our parts that we wanted. You know, most people would just look at that as a pile of junk, which a lot of it is. But we got some pretty valuable parts. These cowl vent doors sell really well because back east, they rust out in the channels. So people really want those. And there's several of them here. So anyway, we'll show you what we got. This is a valuable little part here. That's a windshield regulator, 35/6 Ford car or truck. That's one of the windshield hinges. The other windshield hinge is on that piece of windshield there. This is a hard to find part for goes around the windshield on the inside of the 35 Ford car. That's the windshield garnish. There was only one. The other one was way buried in the ground, but that one's good and solid. This is a Chevy core support piece for early 30s. This is another Ford. No, this is out of that Dodge or Plymouth that was there. Another windshield hinge we got there. This is one of the 35 or 6 Ford cowl vents. There's one here, 2, 3. So there's 3 of those. This one's still got the windshield regulator. So that's all pretty valuable right there. This is the other Ford cowl vent, and that's the third Ford cowl vent. And this one is for the 36 Plymouth car, and that one there was for the Chevy car. We got this out of the Dodge sedan. This is the trunk hook that the trunk latch is on. This is off the 42 Chevy car, goes on the cowl. It's the belt line trim. This is off the 37 Dodge car that goes on the door. This is off that same Dodge. That's the header panel, goes above the windshield. This one here is kind of ripply, but we can straighten that out quite a bit, flatten it out. That's for the 35 or 6 Plymouth. This here is the windshield frame off the Dodge. So that one, we got the windshield hinges. That's what the other one was for. This is a nice glove box door. Good solid glove box door. Fits 35 Master all the way up to 38 truck. 36, 78 truck uses the same Chevy glove box door. So that's a nice door. That's a good piece. This is off the Dodge. This is the glove box hinge. It was missing the glove box, but a lot of times people cut these hinge mounts. So that's a good little piece. This is kind of rough, but it was fun to get off of there. The Dodge that went right on the dash. And then we got one more Chevy windshield garnish over there. So anyway, it was a worthwhile trip. I mean, that was stuff that I bought that stuff years ago and never went to get it. I took some of the better stuff years ago. So it was nice to get some of this stuff after a while. And you know, if you see anything you like, we'll be selling all this stuff. We list a lot on eBay and stuff, so you can check us out on there. And hope you enjoyed the video. We'll catch you on the next round.